Hello, Year 4. Today is Friday, the 12th of February, and your learning question for today is, can I consider the different purposes of a text? So we're revisiting the purposes of a text in our writing workbooks today. So can you make sure that you have got your Key Stage 2 writing book with you? We're not doing our comprehension now for this week. This is our last lesson, and we're looking at the last question in our writing book, okay? Before we start, I want you to have a go at this sentence opener game, okay? So, I want you, if you've got a die at home from a board game or something, fantastic. If you haven't, search interactive die online. I want you to roll the die, and whichever number the die lands on, you're going to choose one of the sentence openers and a task, okay? So the sentence opener is written in black and your challenge is in a different colour, okay? So it might be, watching her step, Lucy climbed over the rocks. You need to use a verb with an ing clause, okay? So you can change the one that's in the sentence, or you could write a new one, okay? Feel free to do this as many times as you want. It does say to keep rolling until you have a paragraph, but if you want to just do a couple just to warm your brains up, that's fine. I just thought it'd be a nice activity. It's a little bit different to what we normally do, okay? To get our budding author brains turned on. So very quickly revisiting our purpose and audience. So our purpose is why the text is being written. So is it to entertain, persuade, inform, discuss? And our audience is the person who will be reading the text, okay? Now I used a couple of examples from my bookshelf yesterday. I wonder if you could pick out some examples from your bookcases. So what is the purpose of that book or that story, and who is the audience? Who's the book designed for? So who is the audience? So we're looking at our final question today, and you're going to fill in the gaps to complete the plan for this story. You can use the questions and the picture to help you. Now, I haven't got the questions or picture on my board, but I just wanted to show you what it is that you're going to be doing today. Your challenge is linked to this question as well, so please take your time. Remember, you've got to be really careful when you plan for different writing pieces, because you need to have everything very carefully thought out. You need to make sure you've got a good idea of where you want your story to go, and you need to make sure that it's a clear beginning and an end. Now, I don't want to see that the ending was he woke up and it was a dream, okay? Because some of you did that for some of your previous writing pieces. Don't want to use that ending. We need to come up with an alternative one, okay? So, beginning. Scott volunteers to take part in a trick at a magic show. The spell goes wrong. He ... So you need to figure out what happens to Scott. What does he do? Does he disappear? Does he have to go and try and find a cure? Does he find that the magician has run off? What has happened? Number 3, desperate for a cure, he goes to. Who does he go to? Does he go to a little old lady? Does he go to a doctor? Does he go to a witch to try and help him? Have a think. Question 4, to reverse the spell he must. What must he do to reverse the spell? Does he have to make a potion? Does he have to find an alternative spell? Does he have to track down the magician because he decided to run off at the start of the story? What is it that Scott needs to do in order to reverse the spell? Okay, so Scott is a volunteer and you've got the magician. And what happens to Scott? Does he turn into an animal? Does he have to go around as an animal and try and find a cure? What is it that Scott has to do to figure out how to correct his mistakes, okay? And then for the end, you need to come up with a fantastic show-stopping ending that doesn't say it was all a dream, okay? Because that's a little bit boring. So for your ending, I think you could do something like Scott... It could be that it's too late to find the cure and Scott stays as the animal for the rest of his life. It could be that Scott finds the cure and he becomes a magician's doctor and he comes up with all different cures for all different spells that go wrong. Okay, So you need to use your imagination for this, and we need to come up with some fantastic ideas. I want you to take your time with this. If you'd rather plan it out in an exercise book instead of the sheet in your workbook because there's not enough space, that's fine. If you want to do it as a mind map, that's also fine, okay? I really want you to give this a fantastic go, okay? Now, for your challenge, now I've written question 4, but I realise it's actually question 5. So, once you've written your plan, your challenge is to write a story using that plan. So you wrote a comprehension piece, and we did a writing piece together last week, didn't we? So your challenge for this week, now I know you've got half term as well, so you can take your time with this. You could even design it so it looks like a little storybook where you've got a front cover and a blurb. I want you to have a go at writing a story using the plan that you created from today's lesson. Okay, if you want to add illustrations, you can add illustrations. If you want to add a title, add a title. So remember using all the techniques that we have learnt about in school. So expanded noun phrases, onomatopoeia, alliteration, similes, fronted adverbials, okay? Using all the different techniques that we have discussed in the videos previously and the plan that you have used, please can you have a go at writing a story using that plan, okay? So I aren't going to say any more because I know you're all superstars and a lot of you are very good writers. I can't wait to see what you come up with. So if you want to take your time over half term to have a go at this, please do. It's going to be fantastic and I can't wait to see what you all get up to. So just before I end today's lesson, reflecting on what you've done today, I want you just to write 5 key words to describe what you have learnt. Now, I don't think I've really taught much today because I've just set you a challenge of planning a story and then having a go of writing it. Now, I would really appreciate it if you did write it because the next set of tasks for your writing book is to edit and improve work and proofreading, okay? So I think you might be able to predict what Miss Prince is going to get you to do with the story about the magician if you write it, okay? So taking what you've learnt from your writing, your writing work this week about planning, purpose and audience, think carefully about your audience who's going to be reading the story about the magician. Think about the purpose of the story. If it's to entertain, do you think it could be funny or spooky, or could there be a massive disaster? Okay, if it's entertaining, I want to be entertained. I don't want to get bored by it. So you need to come up with some sort of way to make it clear to me that your plan for your story is going to entertain me, okay? And then when you write your story, we'll see if who decides to make it a funny story or who decides to make it a spooky story, okay? There's lots of different routes that you could go down for this year 4, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with because I can guarantee that you will all come up with different ideas, which is fantastic, okay? And as always, please send in any photographs of your home learning to the Year 4 email address, and I can't actually wait to see what you come up with for your plan. Okay, I'm really excited. Now, if you've already done this task, because I know some of you have already whizzed through it, please can you have a go at writing from your plan? Okay, so if you've already done today's task, I want you to have a go at writing from your plan because I know that we're all fantastic in year 4 and we can all write a story, okay? So give it a really good go and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have a lovely half term and I will see you all, not next week, but the week after. Bye!